Hey everybody, welcome to the Earliest Alert Derby Talk Outlook here. And I apologize too, I know that as I go through the video, the way this system is, it gets bogged down after so many different maps, and I know my voice will get off sync from the maps. So I promise you Godzilla's not going to appear at any point throughout the taping. But alright, so next week it's going to be a little harder to do these. I will try to do more of an issue of Facebook Lives next week. Instead of blog, so look for that on my Facebook page. So if you have a chance, give that a like, and you will see those posts there. Alright, so let's talk about the setup as we do this afternoon, all the way through the weekend. We've got a few clouds around now. We've had the rush hour balloon race. Now we got the glow coming in for tonight. Now we got several fronts kind of passing through. I'll show you in a second. That really just reinforce a couple of things. One, the wind fields will enhance each time one passes through, but secondly, it just slowly but surely kind of allow the atmosphere to get colder and colder and colder, which sets the stage for a cool weekend. Once we get past that, large high pressure builds in, and then things really do improve for us dramatically for early next week. I don't have the fronts drawn, but you can see each one of them pass through. It's like a little spoke. There's one that'll come through, and we get it to this near 70 or 73 today. Tonight we drop down. Now for the glow, depending on the wind speed with the front and passing through the first one, may be close to an issue. 12 miles per hour is kind of, again, that threshold they like to avoid. Right now I think it's going to be just short of that, but it'll be close, so we'll watch it. Then another one moves in during the overnight early on Saturday, reinforcing that cool air, and then another one rolls in Saturday afternoon. Can't run out a sprinkle with that. Right now I'm going to keep that out off the table, but it is possible. And then as we head into Sunday morning, we get down to the level of frost potential. Now, if the wind is still above, say, 7 or 8 miles per hour, we don't have to worry about frost. If it gets lower than 5 miles per hour, frost becomes patchy as temperatures get cold enough for that to happen. So if you've got plants out already, or you already brought your house plants out, just be mindful of that potential on Sunday. We'll let you know more as we get closer. Now, Sunday is when we begin to reverse things and begin to try to warm things up as the ridge really begins to build in. So let me start with the model trends first, then we'll backtrack to some of the forecast elements. GFS, ETH Ensemble, Euro, ETH Ensemble, Canadian, ETH Ensemble. Hopefully you're used to these maps by now. This is when the ridge, the height it's building is when it's maxed out. We got to get to the left side of it, and we need to be mainly to the west of it. It needs to be our east, but that's the only way we can benefit from it when in terms of a warm air. And that looks to happen. Here's the center of it right here. And that looks to happen Wednesday and Thursday. So you can follow the black line. See, they come off Louisiana right into Kentucky. So it's a south to southwest flow right into wave country. A very warm flow. And everything agrees on that. So confidence is very high that we are going to get warm early next week. So what happens is we've got to figure out, when does that high give up, basically. Does the northwest side begin to weaken? Does the high move way out to the east, or does the high move a little more southeast? Those are all three kind of possible as we head into the latter half of the week toward Derby. As we head into Oaks Day, GFS is starting to hold on to a little bit of the ridge here in the southeast. The Euro does not. It just brings the front right on in Oaks Day. The ensembles here are kind of mixed. They do kind of match their own individual ideas. Certainly the Euro is more progressive and cooler. Barely into the 60s, in fact, if you go with the Euro idea. This front moving in Oaks Day with some showers that will likely even continue into Derby Day. Little waves, a little pressure track along. The front kind of stalls and gets stuck. What is still possible, though, is that the high can get more displaced the southeast corner of the country. If that were to happen, then the fronts that come through kind of get pushed more in a zonal look and horizontal, and therefore they can get washed out. It's hard for them to maintain a lot of the moisture content. And sometimes the line of where the rain forms can be just north of the core of the high, which could very well be, say, Madison, Indiana, Salem to Evansville. Could be the rain zone, if you will, for Oaks and Derby, and nothing even falls at the track. That is possible. I've seen that many times when ridges kind of move more to the south and they turn the front on its side, and we get just enough protection to where we're all right. But we have to at least acknowledge the idea that that won't happen, and that the high loses its grip completely on us and the front moves all the way in. And then we're dealing with a rainy scenario at times. Not a washout, but rainy at times. There will be potential. Either way, the potential to have a cloudy setup is increasingly likely, starting even for the parade day into Oaks and Derby. So don't bet on a lot of sun at this point. and that certainly will impact our warmth that we have, because any amount of sunshine we can gain based on what we have showing a cloudy setup now. If we gain more sun than expected, then we can raise those numbers back up. But right now, we're thinking on the cooler side. So let me show you how this is looking. This is, I believe, the Euro idea. You can see as we get into parade day, I think the high is going to be strong enough certainly to protect. I took the rain chance out for the Steamboat race. I think it's going to be strong enough to protect us there. And that's been a trend the past 2 or 3 model runs. Now, once we get into parade day, I still think it'll protect us, but I think for those of you north and northwest of Louisville, your luck will run out. So we'll raise the rain chance up to about 20-30%. I do think, though, that there's a chance for a lot of strong heating right ahead of that, and that's why I went for the warmest day to be around Thursday. Could be wrong, that could be a complete bust, but that's the way it's looking right now to me. Then the front, we'll have this chance. Now the Euro, again, is going to push the front through here, and that will impact Oaks. 75 may be wishful thinking if it moves in too far. Again, we would only be barely above 62 or 63. It'd be a cool forecast. I don't want to say a repeat of last year. And it wouldn't be, because I don't see the rain beat as heavy. Last year was nearly an inch of rain, and 55, 56 I think it was for a high. It would be warmer than that, but it may not be as pretty. We'll see, or be as ugly as the day as it was last year. And then even for Derby Day last year, we had a threat for rain all the way up to race time, and we cleared out the last minute, which was nice. Similar setup with the front being stalled out. I can't rule out some rain in the area, but we'll take the numbers down. Again, I got to stress, guys, it really is going to depend on the strength of the high, and until we get better data on it, all we can go by is kind of just a trend, overall theme the models have, and what ridges of high pressure typically do around our area. Those are things we can use now in our forecast, and that's what we're doing. But we need more solid data on this to get more specific, because when you're dealing with a difference between a rain shower in, say, Salem versus Churchill Downs, that is too narrow of a corridor this far out to fine-tune, and too close for comfort. So we need more data to narrow that down with more confidence and get that stamped, so we can get plans in place here for Oaks and Derby. So again, stressing the cool weekend ahead for us, frost potential iffy on Sunday, and strong warming early next week. Confidence high on that, 80s, high confidence in the 80s. Low confidence, though, for Oaks and Derby. Stay tuned. We'll keep you updated all the way through the next few days. So this is where we'll be updating the app often. Have a good weekend.